the second floor. Now I want you to break it down.
Good morning. In today's news, my co-host and I, Uncle Dave, are going to be taking a look into today's school's obese and drugged up children.
Our students are obese? You don't say. And drugged up? You make them sound like criminals.
I think our teachers and parents are the criminals, handing their children these drugs and feeding them, overfeeding them. They really have no idea what they're putting into their systems.
Some life they're going to have. I remember when I was a kid and only fed bread and water. And when I did any action that was borderline of what was considered ADD, well then I got the shoulder treatment from Grandpa.
Well, let's look first at obesity we find in our children these days.
And when you say let's look, all you have to do is walk down the street and see.
She on the second floor. Now I want you to break it down.
Meals outside the home, where foods are demonstrably higher in calories, fat, saturated fat, and salt, as well as lower and more desirable nutrients.
Holy cow, 1 out of 3 meals? I was lucky to eat out once every 3 months. I feel my arteries clogging right now. I can feel little piggies and cows and chickens walking through my veins as we sit here.
Well, Uncle Dave, the reasons are easy to understand. Children control increasing amounts of money, and society has granted them increasing responsibility for purchasing decisions.
That's crazy talk. Since when were children allowed to walk all over their parents? I knew my place. Still do. Right, Mom?
Haha, right. That's why you practically forced your mom to make pumpkin pie this Thanksgiving.
Well, yes, but that is expected at Thanksgiving. So, Chelsea, what do you think are some of the contributing factors to child obesity?
I think it's societal things such as television and computers. In this book I recently read by Marion Nestle, she said that the impact of television advertising on children's health, emotional state, and dietary habits has long been a cause of concern for at least 3 reasons. Children watch television for so many hours, commercials are numerous and endlessly repeated, and children lack the critical facility to distinguish commercials from program content.
Well, no wonder we didn't have a problem. We didn't have TV when I was a kid, or at least black and white. But you know what always tempted me to buy some certain kinds of food?
Prizes?
Yep, prizes.
Yeah, I like those too. Wait, you had those back then? Just kidding. Well, Nestle also says children love such items and food marketers explicitly reinforce such desires.
Yes, that makes sense. Eat your food, get a reward, do your homework, get a piece of candy, act up, get time out. Funny how that works. Everything seems to be reinforced by food.
Have you noticed a difference in today's society with younger children?
Actually, I do. They stay inside a lot more, they play at their computer and play video games. They don't get as well a balanced meal. There's a lot more preservatives and bad ingredients in food. Just a lot better scenario when I grew up.
I completely agree. Well, Uncle Dave, I don't think overfeeding our children seems to be the only concern. The problem of drugging our children with Ritalin has also become a huge issue.
Rita what?
Ritalin.
Oh. I'm sorry, I was getting in the Christmas spirit.
Right, whatever. Yeah, well, that's enough. I feel there is some information I need to convey about this Ritalin stuff.
Oh yes, do tell. I'm very interested to get an idea what it really is.
Well, I read another book lately. I love to read. I learned that recent studies have shown that 7 to 10% or more of American school-aged children are being prescribed stimulant drugs to control their behavior, and the actual figures are probably higher. Giving these drugs to their young children, they have no idea what they're doing.
Well, I have been around a while, and I've got to think these drugs have adverse effects like the drugs in our day.
You're exactly right. I was very interested to read in Talking Back to Ritalin by Peter Bregan that first a child is put on Ritalin or Adderall for minor school or family problems. When the stimulant drug causes insomnia, a sedating drug like Klonopin or clinidine is added at night. When the drug combination makes a child depressed, an antidepressant like Prozac or Paxil is added, and the list only continues.
Whoa, so a kid could be taking as many drugs as their age, 5 years old, 5 different drugs? Wait till they're 20 years old.
I know. Not to mention, dozens of studies have demonstrated that Ritalin disrupts the normal cycle of growth hormone production in the body. This indicated that all the organs of the body, including the brain, are affected by the growth inhibition. Good thing you aren't taking this, Uncle Dave. Who knows how short you could have been.
Chelsea, really? I should take offense to that.
Breaking
Yeah.
Breaking news! This just in, a teenager from Roanoke has died snorting Ritalin.
Please, I'd like to know the details of this one.
Well, a group of teens apparently were partying when they began to crush and to snort Ritalin. The teenagers thought Ritalin had to be safe, or it wouldn't be given out so freely to younger children. After drinking a couple beers, 19-year-old Lucas Lawson snorted some Ritalin and collapsed. By the time his friends got him to the emergency room, he was in cardiac arrest. He was resuscitated and put on life support but died 18 hours later.
And the adverse effects continue.
Yep, and continued. Did you also know that the reports by the children seem to confirm that Ritalin diffuses the child's energy, especially for spontaneous activities?
Meaning I wouldn't be so inclined to steal that street sign again?
Yep. Well, you seem to add the lack of activity from obese children, and the lack of energy due to drugs seems to have created such a dull society.
I guess it's not acceptable anymore to go out and run around outside, enjoy the weather, and make mud pies. People probably think I need Ritalin if I resorted to playing in the mud. But when we were young, we'd go out and play things like kick the can, which was a kind of a tag game, or have snowball fights, or whatever sport of the year it was. The neighborhood kids came together and we played.
You can't do that anymore. Apparently it's bad for you. What kind of society have we come to? Well, I think that we're all out of time today, but join us next time on The Huey Report.
On my elevator, check it out, my first floor. Stuck on the second floor, stuck on the diamond third floor, stuck on the